Hey guys, it's Charles Austin here with Liquid Blue Cabarete in Cabarete, Dominican Republic. And today, as you can tell, it's a beautiful day out here in paradise. And what I wanted to talk about was straps in wingfoiling. So a lot of times when you're watching videos, when you're seeing other people riding, whether they're learning, whether they're advanced, intermediate, sometimes you see them riding straps and sometimes you don't see them riding straps. So today, I want to sort of give some reasons behind why you would want to consider using straps, and then explaining why, for example, my board has straps compared to some other previous videos that you might have seen that I don't have any straps on the board. So when you're learning, generally speaking, you want to learn strapless. And the reason is it's more natural for most people. A lot of people in wingfoiling who enjoyed riding straps from the beginning usually had some sort of water sports experience before where they're usually strapped in. So let's say windsurfing, even strapless wave riding, could even be kiteboarding with a twin tip. But there's different things, there's different reasons for different people of why they might want to learn with straps on from the beginning. But in general, when you're learning how to wingfoil, you don't need straps. And the reason is that when you have straps on the board, they're in a very generic place where it might be comfortable for me, but not comfortable for you. So sort of avoiding that and just having a plain surface is one of the best ways to learn, because then you can really adjust and move around more freely. So that's for the beginners. But now as you get better, sometimes you see people that start going down on smaller boards where they sort of enjoy having a front strap, let's say, but no back strap. So front straps alone can help you with a little bit of feeling of control, and depending if you only use a one-sided strap, then in a certain position, you're gonna have that control that you want. Let's say if it's in wave riding or something of that nature. But in general, when you're wave riding, you don't need straps. And that's actually in the videos that I've made prior where I had my 33-liter Rocket surfboard, I never had straps on it because I was using it for pure wave riding. And when you get into pure wave riding, generally speaking, unless you're riding huge, double, triple overhead, you can get away with it in strapless. You might want to consider straps on sort of those more gnarly waves because it might give you that that control in case you have a lot of wobble, or in case you're about to eat it and you sort of are gonna go down and your foot has a lower chance of sort of slipping off the board and then you falling off and getting completely annihilated. It might help with that. But there's a downside to having straps. So when you have straps, you're somewhat locked into the board. And that's why when you're using straps, you want to leave it so it's pretty spacious so that your foot can easily go in and out of the straps in case of an emergency. So when I'm riding and set up my board, my straps probably have an extra half an inch or inch of space where I can easily move in and out. And people might wonder, if you have loose straps, then what's the point? So this board specifically, I use it for freestyle. And when I use it for freestyle, I'm doing jumping, I'm sometimes doing some wave riding, and in those moments when you're jumping, to do it strapless, I have yet to see people do huge airs strapless. Yeah, you could do some small pops wingfoiling, but you can't do the 360s or backflips totally strapless. Unless, well, at least if you do it, you only do it once. So with that being said though, having your straps for freestyle riding is gonna be essential. And nowadays they've come out with Y straps, so you have a nice coverage in the front where your feet can easily slide in, whether you're going out or coming into shore easily. And then your back strap is usually gonna be a single. So then once you have your straps on and you've adjusted them correctly, what you wanna also consider if you're gonna start getting into freestyling is you're most likely not gonna wanna use a leash, right? If you use a leash while you're doing freestyle tricks, you're most likely eventually gonna have some sort of injury, and it's not gonna be a pleasant one, because these boards, if they hit you in the head or if that foil hits you in the head, you're not gonna be feeling too well after that. So when you're using straps, and one of the few reasons why you would use straps is that if you're gonna get into wave riding, then you can use straps to as well have a little bit more power in some of the turns or start doing some air maneuvers, but it's gonna be primarily for the freestyle side, in case you wanna start getting into airs, jumping, etc. So that's pretty much the quick tip, guys. If you're using straps, make sure you can get in them easily and out of them easily because of any falls that might happen. You want to sort of fall out of your board and not be stuck where you could twist your ankle or fall onto the board and hurt yourself or not be able to get out of the board. And when you're riding with straps, generally speaking, if you're going to use it for freestyle, even in the waves, I would really be leaning towards the side of not using a leash. I don't use a leash for the freestyle side, and even if I'm just going to do a wave session, I generally, depending on how big the waves are, don't use a leash. Now, in terms of protective equipment, what you're going to want for sure, as always, is your helmet. You're going to want a helmet to protect your head, and you're going to want an impact vest to just have a bit more flotation and also to have a bit of protection to your chest. So with that being said, guys, I hope that if you're considering to use straps, you take some of this advice, because it is essential that you stay on top of your game and protected, and that you manage to get more than one session out. You don't want to go out there and get hurt. So really try to protect yourself and know what you're getting into. And going back to it, if you're learning, you don't really need straps. And if you're gonna get into some freestyle side, then consider the straps. If you want that one single strap in the front, that's a personal preference, but it's not really needed for most people. So with that being said, have a great day, guys. I'm gonna leave you with a view of Cabarete in June. It's super sunny, it's super hot, and the wind's just about to pick up. So if you're planning to come down this summer or even this winter, then give us a shout. We always leave all of our contact information below, and most people that always reach out and they're coming down, we usually meet up. So if you're looking for a friend in Cabarete, then you got one. But alrighty, I'm gonna leave it with that, and yeah, it's about time to go out, so have a good one.